Here is a 2024 Mini Cooper SE hardtop two-door in Nanook white metallic over Chesterfield satellite leather gray interior. We have the iconic trim, which is new for the year. The Nanook white, that was new for last year. 47 horsepower less than the JCW, with only 114-mile range. The refresh is scheduled for next year, and many is saying that it should get at least 200-mile range. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to give some pros and cons. Starting up front, LED headlights with bad weather lights, no more fog lights. They changed that for the refresh. The 5th gen is going to have a little bit more polished off into the front. You're going to still have that wide stance though. The main thing between the 24 and 25 really is going to be the range, besides some of the tweaks that they're doing on the exterior and interior. The focal point will still be the center of the grille with the gloss black highlights, S badging in the yellow, front parking sensors, in which that iconic trim, the majority of that feature is going to be inside the vehicle, which I would tick the box personally. It will jump the MSRP to near $40,000, in which the JCW is starting to sound a little bit better when you're thinking about that 0 to 60. It's a second quicker than this. And underneath the hood is not going to get a traditional frunk. It's a 32.6 lithium ion battery pack that's going to produce 181 horsepower and 199 pound-feet of torque, reaching 60 at 6.9 seconds, which is pretty quick because this thing weighs under 3,200 pounds, getting 119 mpg for the city and 100 mpgs for the highway. This is not going to be a Tesla Model 3 by any means, but charging at a level 2 or a 240 volt, 4 hours, and a DC quick charge, 10 to 80% in 36 minutes. Now, the big problem I have is if I was to leave here, I'm in Wesley Chapel, and to go to Orlando, Florida, I would not be able to reach my destination and come back without doing a quick charge, in which that puts me more towards the JCW for the sweet spot because of the quicker speeds in the combustion engine, and you're going to get about 300 miles on a tank to that compared to this, which is about 3 times the travel distance. Going against the Hyundai Ioniq 6, I like the Porsche styling that they do, and it's going to be quicker than this also. So it kind of puts itself in a different segment. If you do not option the iconic trim, then you're at one of the least expensive variants, but it's more for a quick day in and day out use. 17-inch wheels we have set with this. These are the mini electric power spoke. I like the retro design because it fits the heritage to the Cooper. And we get the yellow for the power folding side view mirror, and keyless entry is also part of that iconic trim. No shark fin antenna. We're going to get the RC antenna, which makes it look like I need a remote control to have some fun with. But with the Mini Cooper, it's going to be fun in the respect of that go-kart feel because you're still under 99 inches for the wheelbase. So it's basically the same as the gas-powered variant. It's 0.5 inches taller, and keeping the heritage alive with the Union Jack LED taillights and the chrome that's going to surround it. The lower is going to be a little bit more simple and plain than the JCW. There, you're going to see the performance coming out a little bit more so than on the SE. Quick release going into 34 cubic feet of storage. Underneath, you're going to receive a storage tray, and this also can hold it so that way it doesn't just flop down. Split fold the rear bench at a 60-40 split, and that's where you're going to get that max cargo capacity out of the Mini. Because of the iconic trim, we're getting leather bucket front seats and heated front seats with a leather wrapped steering wheel, 6-way manual adjustment, and manual cushion extensions. Headroom, and I'm tall. You also have this sun visor here. Leg room, plenty of space in the Mini Cooper, even though it's mini. The dashboard will get that iconic trim design layout, Harman Kardon sound system, 8.8-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay, no Android Auto. Navigation is because of the iconic trim. Switch it to reverse, and we get a reverse camera with front and rear parking sensors. Those LED rings, what are they used for? Well, when you're using it for your reverse, you're gonna see, hopefully it'll do it, there we go. It starts changing colors to let you know that you're too close to an object. I like that. Dual climate control settings, yellow instead of green, which it's kind of cool because that's their scheme. Here's the key fob for the Mini. 2 USB ports and a 12 volt with the cup holders in front of the gear lever that gets the yellow contrast. And the center armrest with the wireless charging, that's also because of the icon trim. This lifts up and you get a little storage area here. Mini drive, which you can just use your touch screen or whatever you like there. The heads-up display is also part of that package. The gauge cluster is going to be attached to the steering wheel. That is manual telescoping. Adaptive cruise control lane keep assist is also part of that package. 2 moonroofs, auto dimming rear view mirror, the toggle switches for the top, and you can lower that regenerative braking, or you can make it a little bit more for the regenerative braking. When you get that icon trim, it also has power folding side view mirrors. So you get a pretty good amount of features from that one trim option. The door panel is going to be everyday materials in pretty much everywhere. One touch up and down for the windows and a smaller storage pocket. Going into the back, you're going to hear that sound. Slides forward, and that's the entrance for somebody that's 6'3". Is it doable? Yeah. Is it going to be a little tight? It's a Mini, you expect it. But headroom is actually pretty good for the size of this vehicle. On the side, you're going to get hard materials, yet again, Harman Kardon with cup holders on both sides, and in the center, no armrests here. Storage behind both of the front seats, and the lever to get out of this thing easy. 47 horsepower less and 36 pound-feet of torque less. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're adding nearly 200 pounds curb weight, it changes that 0 to 60 by 1 second at 6.9 seconds. Let's see how well she drives. It's still gonna put a smile on your face. Go-kart feel, do you get it? Yeah. And some. Just wraps around the bends. Handling is really good. And when you're considering an electric variant, sometimes you start thinking, well, it may not be that good, but it actually is pretty solid. We're gonna stop right here in the middle so we can see that 0 to 60, and here we go. Still pushes you back in the seat. You really get all of the feels of the electric variant. It's not going to be quite JCW, but these electric vehicles do a good job pushing you back and giving you that performance blend, and the weight distribution is where it's at, because this thing is just phenomenal. It's just eating up the road. Now, on the downside to this, if you're driving it hard all the time, there's no way you're going to get over 100 miles of range. It's going to take me to some pros and cons after I do a few more bends here. In which, starting off with the pros, when you tack on the iconic trim, it gives you a lot of value. It does push the price to a different level tier, in which now you're starting to consider a JCW, which is going to be faster and you're going to get more range because it's a combustion engine. But the pro here is you still get that feel, quick charge too, 4 hours to charge up, but on the con, only 114 miles max of range. 36 minutes for a 10 to 80% charge, so it's not too bad there, but if you're considering an 80% charge, you're going to be getting about 60, 70 miles. It feels engaged, You ride low to the ground, so it's keeping all the heritage of Mini. I have the regenerative brake on the lowest level, going over imperfections at a quicker speed. I'm gonna feel some of the imperfections in the road, but 17-inch wheel choice makes it a little bit more smooth. I would say the big problem I have is the sound deadening. When you go into the JCW, you'll hear the exhaust note. Here you really can't hear nothing but road noise. And because it's a Mini, you already sit low to the ground, in which it really just funnels into the interior. Should you option this or a 2025 is really where the question is going to lay at. If you want range for your Mini, I would say wait and get the 25, because Mini is saying that they're going to be getting at least 200-mile range. They're going to be giving a bigger battery pack and also going to get more performance out of it. So it's going to be quicker on the 0 to 60s. You're also receiving new technology updates for the interior and the exterior design. If you're okay for a quick in and out of the city type of drive, you need to just go to work, pick up some groceries and whatnot, this is where it's at. Because it's a Mini, you can move in and out, unlike other variants that would be somewhat comparable, like a Tesla Model 3 or the new Hyundai Ioniq 6. If you put the regenerative braking on full, it will come to a complete stop for you. And I like the tones that when you start the car, it has a futuristic sound, and it does the same thing on the exit. If it had about 150-mile range, I think I would be okay with it personally. And if the price was about at least 7 to 10 grand less with the Iconic trim package, but I'm not all into the electric world. 4-hour charging isn't bad though. Another pro about this vehicle is if you're not optioning that Iconic trim, this is the least expensive variant and one of the quickest variants to charge. Again, if you're utilizing it within that 114-mile range. I always like the playful feel of a Mini Cooper because you really can just wrap around anything. As long as you know how to drive a vehicle, you can pin the nose in the direct way that it needs to go, and the car just functions flawless. BMW has done an amazing job with the Mini Cooper because they're giving you components of higher priced vehicles in the Mini Cooper, in the sense of getting the suspension layout and being near 50-50 weight distribution, in which this is a battery. So you got to consider you're adding almost 200 pounds curb weight, and you're still getting that for the dynamics. Turn radius, it's a Mini. Maybe a lane and a half. Here we go. It has the speed, it has the fun, everyday in and out drive. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank Mini of Wesley Chapel for giving us this 2024 Mini Cooper SE 2-door hardtop for our car review.